If you guys haven't heard, banks like Bank of America and Ally have actually been repoing cars that are put on Turo. If you read in your contract, it states that you are not allowed to sublease these vehicles without letting the bank know. I don't know how, but these banks are finding the cars on Turo and they're just repoing them. At first, they were sending out letters. The letter would state pretty much, hey, you're subleasing this vehicle, it goes against your contract, please reach out to us. But now it sounds like they're just going straight to pick up the car.
Welcome to the Common Sense Philosophy Channel. Today's video is called Just Say No to the Repo Truck and the Banks. Just say no to the repo truck and the banks. Oh man. This is a conversation that keeps coming up because people are continually losing stuff because of the layoffs, the shutdowns. All this back and forth has been causing a big problem. So here we are. I've looked at this whole thing, just say no and they won't take your car. They won't repossess your car. Okay, just saying, when the repo truck comes to your house to repossess your car or your vehicle, they're saying the law is putting forth the energy that all you have to do is go outside and say to the repo guy, hey, no, don't take my car. You cannot repo my car. Once you say that, they're supposed to say, okay, either get in the car and leave, or if they take the vehicle, you can sue the repo truck and the bank and win, I guess. I haven't found the wins yet. I'm looking for those, but that's what people are saying. Way more people are saying you can just say no than I'm seeing people say, I did it and it worked. So still looking for that side. Another thing is people are talking about the actual financial managers at the place where you come and you ask to try to get a car and run your credit and such things. They're saying they know for a fact if you're going to get repoed or not by if you smoke cigarettes, vapes, use a lot of scratch offs. They're saying those type of people always get their stuff took. The substance abuse and gambling is a sure sign that you may be getting your car repoed. So I thought it was deep. So anyway, thanks for coming and checking out the Common Sense Philosophy Channel. Remember to use your common sense and don't be afraid to philosophize. Like and subscribe on your way out. Check out these clips and videos. I don't agree with them all, but I think the perspective should be heard. And you leave a comment because your voice is important too. All right? So you have a good day, and I'll be talking to you soon. Yep.
Being broke in 2026. It's not inflation, it's not your income, and it's not that the system is rigged. Last week, I was talking to a colleague of mine who works financing at a small buy here, pay here dealership, and he told me something that honestly messed me up. He said you can literally predict who's about to lose their car just by looking inside their car. Not their credit score, not their job, not even their income. What's actually inside the car. See, when you work in sales and financing, you don't just see credit reports. You see bank statements, deposit patterns, employment history, spending behavior, and eventually the inside of the car when it actually gets repossessed. And after looking at thousands of files, patterns start repeating. Not sometimes, but almost every single time, consistently. So I asked him, I had to, what do they all have in common? And he said, if you want to stay broke, just keep doing these 5 things. And the consistency is so scary. But check this out. Number 1 is vapes and cigarettes everywhere. Ash in the cup holders, empty vapes cartridges, and crumpled cigarette packs. And before you get defensive, this isn't judgment. It's math. $10 a day, $300 a month, $3,600 a year. That's your car payment right there. Number 2, scratch tickets. Not 1 or 2, but stacks. I'm talking about $20 tickets, $30 tickets, even $50 tickets. You just missed your car payment, but you bought a $50 chance at maybe? That's not poverty. That's dopamine financing. Number 3, convenience store bleeding. The bank statements don't lie. $8 at Speedway, $7 at Circle K, $9 at Quick Stop, $10 for Red Bull, over and over and over again. It's not that it's the $8, it's the frequency. Micro links sink the ship, Number 4, subscription creep. Xbox, PlayStation, Tubi, whatever. Your random trials you forgot to cancel. 12 here, 19 here, 27 here. You don't feel it monthly, but lenders see it annually. So what nobody says out loud, that's why the banks actually deny you. Not because you broke. They deny you because your spending behavior predicts instability. That's what underwriting really is. Behavior forecasting. And when patterns repeat, repos happen.
These finance companies do not want to repossess these vehicles. Y'all gonna listen to me one day. So I had one of the girls to inbox me yesterday, and she was telling me that she seen one of my videos about repossession and she needed some advice because she was 2 months behind on her vehicle. I told her, I said, girl, they not gonna come get that vehicle until you at least 3 months behind. She said, I called the finance company. They said since I was 2 months behind, my vehicle was up for repossession. I say, no, I've had 3 repossessions in the past, and I promise you they not going to come before them 90 days. Like, not. I said, she lying to you. I said, don't worry about it. I said, I promise you, if I felt like they was going to come and repossess your vehicle, I would have told you, but they not. I promise you they not. And I was telling her yesterday, like, all you have to do is pay 2 months. And once you pay them 2 months, you're going to be good. Like, they're not going to come and take your vehicle.
Very interesting job. I work at a small dealership, and I do all of the sales and financing. So I look at people that have good credit, bad credit, and very bad credit lifestyle. I see their credit reports. I see their bank statements. I see where they work, how much they make, their whole life story. And that goes for good credit people too. But we're the bank a lot of times. So we do get repossessions, and I see what the repossessions come in and look like. Working at a buy here, pay here, and the way my brain works is I start to notice patterns. I start to see things over and over again. And I'm going to compile a list of the top 5 things you can do to stay broke, because I've seen it time and time again. In no particular order. And what I see in the repos. Every single repo, and I can say with certainty almost 99% of every repo, and number 1 way to stay broke is vape cigarettes, or smoke cigarettes. Almost every repo has a ton of empty cigarettes or a ton of those empty vaporized cigarettes. Ton of them every single time. The other thing and this is in no particular order, but if you're a smoker, give it up. It's too much money. It's a bad habit. It's not good for you. There's nothing good for it. Like, what purpose does smoking cigarettes do for you? Get rid of the vapes. Get rid of the cigs, because that's number 1. Number 2, scratch tickets. It is absolutely insane to me how many times I see scratch tickets. And not even like 1 or 2, like stacks, like thick stacks of scratch tickets. You have a better chance of seeing the Patriots win the Super Bowl than hitting one of those scratch tickets. That's the only way to tax the poor. That's the way they do it. And that's not even $1, $2, $5 tickets. I'm seeing like 25. I seen a 50 the other day. I was like, they make $50 scratch tickets, and you don't pay your car payment, but yet you have money for $50 because you think you're going to make it rich. That's number 2. Another one, an absolutely major, humongous one, is when you look at bank statements and you see the repos, is convenience store shopping. The 20-ounce sodas, the stops here, $7, $8. You're probably picking up your cigarettes and you pick up a Red Bull or a Monster. You see that all the time in repos. You see all the empty sodas, all the empty cigarettes, all the empty little
Questions for a moment. I've heard so many people over my banking career say things like, I don't care, the bank can come and get it, or I'll roll it into their parking lot and they can have it back. I don't think everybody understands the repercussions that can come from doing those things. So let's just talk a minute, if you don't mind. First, what is a repossession? The repossession is the act of the bank calling the collateral or using their right to come and confiscate the collateral that's pledged to a loan. And it happens because the customer hasn't paid their bill, usually around 3 months. And so the bank will put out an order if 3 months go by approximately. It doesn't have to be 90 days. It can be a little bit before. Some may go a little later. Just depends on the bank. So they put in an order to get it repossessed. They collect it. They pick it up and they bring it back to either a lot, their bank, whatever. Doesn't matter. The whole intent at that point is to get it sold as fast as possible, because there's rules and laws that dictate how long a bank can hold that collateral that's been repossessed before it has to give credit to the customer. So they'll sell it. They'll sell it quick. What does that mean? Usually if you sell something quick, you sell it for cheap. So let's say you have a $50,000 loan, they repossess the vehicle, and they sell it quick and get $25,000 out of it. You are responsible for the difference, the other $25,000. It just doesn't go away. And you can say, well, I'll make the bank eat it. Well, it doesn't work that way. The bank is going to turn around and sue you for it.
You had your car repossessed. You probably do not owe the balance that you owed when the car was repossessed. And this video is going to tell you exactly why. Only thing that I ask is, if you find this information useful, like, share, comment, and of course follow. All right, so when your car is repossessed, the banks want to get their money back if they can. So if the car is still in good condition, they will sell the car, okay? So the redemption notice is just letting you know that they are selling the car, where the car will be sold, because you have the right to go and purchase to get your car back, okay? So you by law have to get a notice letting you know that they're going to sell this car and how much they're going to sell it for. All right, so next we have the deficiency notice. This is the notice that is to be sent to you, the consumer, after your car is sold. So in this notice, it's going to tell you how much the car was sold for, because that is now going to be your payoff amount, okay? So if your car was worth $25,000 when they repossessed it and they sold it for $24,000, you are now only responsible for $8,000. In addition, you should receive a cancellation notice letting you know that the original contract that you had with this lender is now null and void because you don't owe that amount.
Did you know that if your car is about to be repossessed, the repo person comes out and take your car, that all you have to do is yell, "Stop, do not take my car." If you yell to the repo guy, "Stop, you cannot take my car," then they cannot take your car. If they proceed to take your car anyway, it is called a breach of peace. A repo person is a third-party entity, right? So they have to be peaceful when they come out to take your vehicle. The lender owns your vehicle, not the repossession company. So if they come out to take your vehicle and you see them, start recording them with your cell phone, okay? Start recording it from beginning to end. You have to have proof that they actually took your car after you told them not to. It is called breach of peace, and it is covered in every state. They cannot take your vehicle without, if you tell them not to take your vehicle.
Correct.